when I give my son a hug, and I think, well, it's going to be very difficult. He gives me that last hug. If he were to lay me down on my grave,
Right.
it'll be very difficult for me to let him go,
Right.
but I'll have to let him go. I was just thinking that, we talk about it off camera about death meditation, right? And I don't think we talk about it enough. Just like how you were talking earlier about how you envision yourself already being dead. My vision is almost goes with that. It's not a hadith by Amr ibn As, where he told his kids, hey, when you're laying me down on the grave, stay there until like one cow has been fully slaughtered and taken care of. Meaning, be there with me. Don't leave me by myself.
Yes.
I think about that, right? When I give my son a hug, and I think, well, it's going to be very difficult. He gives me that last hug. If he were to lay me down on my grave,
Right.
it'll be very difficult for me to let him go,
Right.
but I'll have to let him go.
Yep.
And same thing with my friends. But it's just a visualization that I have, sort of like, how do we call it, like bottom up, right? Just thinking about that whole picture, right? But at the same time, being comfortable with that idea, because many times we're scared of talking about death,
Right.
me included. And I think where I am at right now at this point in my life is because of my own life experience
Right.
with death. However, prior to this, we would have never talked about this.
Right.
Which, again, not going off on a tangent, it's so important to have a wasiyah,
Yes.
a will,
Absolutely.
which
down.
I was very scared to do, because you are talking in depth about your death, how things are going to be at the time of death. This is not something I wanted to talk about, or usually I don't know how many people want to talk about it at length, because it's not about something great or amazing that's going to happen. It's not about a retirement plan where they're going to go off and settle on a vacation home or something. But anyways, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I think that's important, and going back to like Quran and Sunnah, we're taught all this, right? Like Allah takes care of us by telling us. The Quran is one step ahead of the game, right? Of society, of cultural trends and whatnot, and it truly focuses on our well-being, right? It's hudan linnas, like it's guidance for all of mankind. So, right after death, your will serve. So the thing about, alhamdulillah, being Muslim is that we are giving our rights during our life and even after death. So it's not like, okay, he's dead or whatever, no. When we die, it's amazing how we are supposed to respect the dead body by putting it in the grave as soon as possible, because if that man or woman, whoever it is destined for paradise, we want them to go rest as soon as possible. And so, and then the janazah prayer, right? And then everything, we want to do it quickly. Why? So they can go where they're supposed to be. Because death is not something that we're supposed to look at as a morbid thing. It's supposed to be a new life, the barzakh, right? So I think it's important. But then what happens is that hopefully that person is in peace. But then what he leaves behind, right? Which someone could be responsible for if they don't fix it in their life before they leave, is all the stuff like inheritance, and then all the stuff that then the fights break out, and then the family issues, and then all these things that happens that we see every day, right, in our lives, right? So I think that's important. But again, we went from the Quran to this because everything we talk about in the Quran, it actually leads to real life examples and experiences and whatnot. So